Forget sometimes?
Oh, you'd be surprised. Grab a stat sheet. Well, it's a good college basketball game. I think it's a tribute to Chris and his team. And that's a veteran team with a lot of pride. They fought. We jumped on them early, and they did what a good Big Ten basketball team does, and that's fight back and made it interesting on us. But I liked our first half. Did something a little different, trying to pick up and press after makes. Tried to get after them just to be disruptive. They're a team that's set-oriented. We wanted to really try to knock them out of that, make them play with short clock, not let them just come down and get into their things so easily. And I thought that was pretty effective. Second half, maybe not as much. I think it had more to do with us. Just the first 4 minutes were a struggle again in the second half. But I thought Andres Feliz was obviously a guy that was terrific. We talked about after the Purdue game, a game in which we shot 33s. Not doing that anymore. And we settled, and we can't settle. We've got to be a team that tries to get the ball into the paint, whether it's to Georgie or whether it's through the dribble drive. 16 assists on 21 field goals. I love that. And that's a result of getting the ball in the paint and spraying it, and being very, very unselfish. So 38 free throws might be a season high, I'm not sure. But, I'm very proud of that. And, I think that, the one thing that goes unnoticed or untalked about with anybody is Dre put 11 fouls himself on their team, and that's a huge number. I'd be challenged to see many guards that have done that this year. So. Great win, and excited to get back in the right column, and I thought we were good when we had to be.
Brad, what's the biggest difference in Andres now versus when you guys first played at Northwestern?
Well, he was, I don't know, what were we, 10, 11 games in? I think, kind of the old myth that takes junior college players a semester, to get acclimated and understand what we're doing, and now he's confident, and he's 3/4 of his way through his first year, and you're seeing a guy that knows where he can pick and choose his spots, and he's more comfortable in the offense, and he was terrific tonight.
He started Andres at Purdue, maybe just to get a different look there on the road, but has he maybe shown where he is the type of guy that you like to bring off the bench, just with kind of the energy and effort that he always has?
Dre does an unbelievable job of echoing me, and what I mean by that, it sometimes gets lost in translation from what goes on in a huddle or the course of a game. You always see him; he's overstanding in front of me. He echoes that, and now he's getting to the point where he's really confident. Hey, let's run this, let's run that. That's familiarity, that's comfort, and those are what great lead guards do. And he's a guy that understands the game. The start at Purdue was he settles us, and he gets us there. He's got a poise about him that I really like, and yet. Didn't take me long to get him in the game tonight either, when we didn't start him. So he's been really good in that role.
In January at Northwestern, obviously a tough loss for you guys. You came into the press conference a little emotional. How much did sort of how that game ended and your feelings after that game, how much did that sort of play into both your preparation and getting the team fired up for this one?
Didn't have as much to do with this one as it did our season. That was a really, really crushed locker room in Evanston. And as much as our locker room was hurting, I was pretty happy inside because they were hurting. And that let me know that this group was bought in, and they're committed, and they were dedicated to continuing to work and fight and get better. There was no hanging their head. This team has continued to improve. All you got to do is watch the film of the first game and then keep looking at us and the steps we've been taking. So it didn't have as much to do with this game as for me as it did the overall course of how our team has bought in throughout the year and improved.
Coach, you mentioned the 33s at Purdue, only 16 tonight. However, 2 of those were from Georgie. Do you think those were maybe him settling out of frustration a little bit, or are you comfortable with those shots in those situations?
No, we're not. I mean, Georgie's capable of doing that. He shoots them in practice. He hasn't been doing it. I don't know if it was frustration. I'll have a conversation with him about it. But it's, give Pardon a lot of credit. He's an upperclassman that's smart, really good defender. And, I'm just proud that Georgie stepped up and made his free throws tonight and because they were all needed.
Coach, I know that rebounding's been a point of emphasis all year. How happy were you with your guys out rebound Northwestern by 10?
Yeah, that's been huge. And, it's people don't give Aaron Jordan enough credit for the job he does. And, here's a guy that gets 10 rebounds, all of them defensive. He's a guy that is undersized, playing the 4. He's scrapping, he's fighting. Georgie's been great on the glass, 17 rebounds, I think, the last couple games. 10 with 10 at Purdue. It's a concentrated effort. What I'm trying to get our guards to do is all be like Dre. Dre goes back and he's getting 5, 6, 7 every night, and we've got to get the other guys doing that. There's nothing better than a guard rebounding, so we can start the fast break and start running, and that's something we got to continue to impress on them and how important that is.
Coach, when Andres first checked into the game, he scored 5 straight points for you guys. Did you feel like he kind of set the tone for the game going forward?
Yeah, and I thought our defense early was really good. I thought that was the first thing. We got them maybe a little sped up, a little out of sorts, and then Dre came in, and we knew there were creases. We had 4 easy baskets against them in the game there, where we just in a speed dribble drove the ball down the court, and put a little heat on them, and we talked a lot about that, being able to do that, and we knew if Dre's as good at it as anybody. He puts a lot of foul problems on people and foul pressure. So we tried to do that, but it was sure a good start for him.
And what have you noticed about his style of play that allows him to be so successful in transition in general?
Really strong. He's got incredibly strong lower part of his body. He doesn't get knocked, with physical contact, from the waist down. He's got really strong legs, and so he's able to handle that contact. He's done that his whole life, so he's figured out how to score, how to take the hit, how to finish, and he's good at it.
You mentioned the idea of how this team has improved through the season, and when you look at a guy like Felice and how he's emerged, what does that make you feel just about the future with guys like that who are getting better and emerging at this time of year?
I come to practice every day, loving coaching this team. And I'm as energetic. I'll be as energetic on Tuesday in practice as I was day one, because this team has done that. They keep giving us life, and no matter how we come off a loss at Purdue, or we lost a tough one in Madison, but it's improvement. And when guys improve, as a coach, that's all you can ask for. And then when you got really good human beings on top of it, I go to bed every night with a smile on my face and looking forward and eager to the next day, because it's the one thing that we can't give them is the experience, and they're gaining that and learning, and that's exciting.
You guys had the 15-point lead, and Northwestern started hitting some shots in that second half. But you guys looked like you were composed throughout. Is that just kind of a product of where you've been this season and not getting rattled? Yeah,
I think we've been through all that stuff. Michigan State, and I think we've, Wisconsin. I think the other night at Purdue, we were down, we fight, tie it back, and I think it's just a matter of this team's understanding. They've got some confidence, and that we can do some things to claw back into it when a team makes a run. It's the Big Ten, man. It's the best league in college basketball. really good players, really, really good coaches, and teams are going to make runs at you, and teams are going to, you don't find very, very, very few games decided by more than 2 possessions in this league.
Coach Trent had 3 assists combined in the previous 3 games, 5 for him tonight. What did you see differently from him tonight?
He passed. I mean, that's supposed to be really obvious. I mean, he passed. Trent's really good in practice, and he spent a lot of time. We talked about that. It's not just having tunnel vision, but seeing the court, and that's one thing he really grew last year doing. And I think sometimes he feels that if Io's not going or Georgie's not going, that he takes that burden upon himself, and that gets really hard to do. And let your teammates be good and help you, and he did a great job of that today.
Coach, I think Northwestern only had 8 turnovers for the whole game. Might be the lowest conference number you forced this year. Something that Northwestern was doing differently compared to the previous game, or
4 ball handlers, 4 of them. I mean, there was, a lot of teams don't play like that. A lot of teams, have a primary ball handler, and they play that way. And so you get, matchups where you can bring the ball up the court, and then they didn't run a lot of their actions that they normally run, which is normal against us. But that's one of the primary reasons was they changed their lineup again and put Kopp in the lineup, and he's a kid who can handle it and drive it, and along with Gaines and Vic and Turner, and changed the lineup again at half. So yeah, their ability to handle it was effective that way.
Coach, you got some quality minutes out of DeMonte Williams today. Just talk a little bit more about his role in the team now and how it's evolved throughout the season.
Yeah, he was terrific, and I have so much trust in DeMonte in terms of what he gives us, and he shot the ball awfully well in practice. It was good to see those balls go in. He's an excellent driver, and then he makes the right decisions when he drives. And it's unfortunate tonight. I probably didn't play him as much in the second half, just simply because the 3 guards were gone. And I feel so confident with him in the game, and he makes the right reads and the right coverages, and I have a lot of trust in him.
Coach, you said after the last couple of losses, you felt the team, needed to get the ball more to Georgie. 12 points, 2 of 6 shooting tonight. Kind of ran through Felice a little bit. It felt like more than that. But how would you evaluate just his game and his role in the offense right now?
Well, I think he's seeing a lot of different things. I think he's seeing some people double team him, which he saw at Purdue. I think he's trying to find out. Pardon's a terrific defender. We've probably got to help him a little bit in a couple of things that we do offensively in terms of catching the ball. A little closer. He's catching it off the block a little bit. But I love what he's doing. I'm frustrated with his turnovers because he's a better player than that, and he doesn't. We don't see that. But the first possession of the game, he throws one behind his back. He might complete that in practice when it's against the walk-ons, but in a Big Ten game, that's not going to work. But we live with some of that with Georgie.
You talked earlier about the press defense you guys came out in. Why did you come out in, and did you think it was effective throughout the game?
I thought it was really effective the first half. I thought it just got them on their heels a little bit. I thought it got them out of rhythm, not just bringing the ball up the court and walking into their offense. They did a good job. I think they scored a basket or 2, but I thought we got some turnovers. We got some easy baskets out of it. And, the second half we went a little more straight man until late in the game. But, I thought it was effective for the most part.
Since inserting DeMonte into the starting lineup, it seems like him and AJ have kind of developed a defensive chemistry similar to Trent and Io's. Just what kind of luxury is that giving you defensively to have those 2 guys, similar frames, be able to have that kind of versatility?
Both those guys have to fight because they're undersized. Both, it allows us to do some things switching-wise, but they're both tougher than nails. They both fight. They both compete. I can't say enough about that part of it. So, I think there's a great chemistry. I think our team's developing that. I think our roles are becoming set in stone a little bit. And I like that. I like people who know what their specific role is, and we're getting there.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you.
Thank you.